Welcome to Guardians of the Data. I'm your host, Ward Balzerzak. Each episode will explore the passions, expertise, and real world experiences of security leaders who are helping the future of data security and governance. Guardians of the Data is made possible by support from Centra. To learn more about our AI powered data security platform, please visit centra.io. Let's dive in. Welcome back to another episode of Guardians of the Data. My guest today started his career in the medical field before transitioning into tech, where he now has over 25 years of combined experience between IT and security. Currently the CIO at Coleman Health Services, Dr. Sergio Sanchez. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Ward. Thank you for having me here in Guardians of the Data. I am happy and it's an honor to share this time with you.
Oh, the honor is absolutely all mine, sir. Let's jump right in. Are you ready?
Ready.
Perfect. In your professional opinion, what is the biggest data security challenge organizations are facing?
Oh my God, today, early in the morning, AI. AI is going to be used by anyone to be a threat actor. AI is a tool that is leveling the playing for absolutely everything and everybody. I'm going to explain you this. Today, with AI, you can be a musician, a writer, a hacker. You don't need really now deep information knowledge about how to hack, about networks, about uh, anything. You just get to AI, full AI, give you the answers, and there you go. Now you are a new hacker.
It's a real problem, right? I mean, I was seeing some new articles on LinkedIn over the weekends around like we've all, I think it's security. We all kind of have our tinfoil hat on all the time, where we've been saying for a while now, like this is going to be used by bad guys. This is used by bad guys. Well, guess what? It's being used by bad guys, right? We're absolutely seeing it. People are writing about it out there.
Well, I don't know. You hear the news today. Look like Chinese threat actors were able to convince Anthropic Claude to have a couple companies, and this happened just today. So
Yeah.
it's getting over the news. So this is the point I was telling you. Not only now we are facing human threat actors, but now we are also facing AI instructed to hack companies, and it's doing it by itself. So that is going to be a nightmare. From my point of view, if you are, familiar with the Golem, the legend of the Golem, or better, more popular, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, basically we are creating a monster that we are now giving the tools to destroy us. And this sounds very dark, is working, against us, what we're creating. So let's see if we can, uh, figure it out how to have one over. But right now, it's keeping me awake.
Oh, I think it's keeping a lot of folks awake. So I totally agree, right? AI, I mean, we hear about it daily. To your point, there's the articles out today around, bad guys well, not legitimately, but actually using it, right, to compromise their targets. From a data security perspective, what do we do about it? Any thoughts, any tips for our listeners on what they should start doing now to kind of prepare or protect themselves?
Well, first of all, I think you need to prepare everybody in your company, absolutely everybody. These threat actors are not going to go for the CISO directly or the CIO or the CEO. Why? Because they are the ones that have some knowledge of how all this process work. They are going to go for the little person. They are going to go for the person that don't care, don't pay too much attention about uh, technology, that is not aware of how can get con or fraud, the fraud. Those are the people that are basically the one opening the doors to the big breaches. So I think it's extremely important that everybody get trained. We are always playing the cat and mouse game with all these people. The problem here is we need to be at least one step back, no 3,000 miles back. And because of that, you have to at least make the people aware of how that criminals can get in. And again, they are going to be, try to aim to people that doesn't have too much knowledge about technology, that they are not up to date with the news, that basically they don't care or they don't use AI or anything else. I think they need to be aware. That's step number one. Step number two is always will be somebody clicking the wrong link. Everybody will be, hey, I need to send money to this prince in Nigeria, and he's going to send me 3,000 times more of what I send. Or, hey, I got this lottery ticket I won, and I never even bought this ticket. Or, like, hey, your bank account is, compromised. Change your password and username right now, but give me your password and username before. Or, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Every single day we live in a digital world, and sometimes we don't even notice. uh, I have a lot of people my age that they says, hey, no, I don't care because I don't have TikTok, or I don't have Facebook, or I don't have Instagram. And my question for them is always, okay, do you remember when was the last time you make a line at the bank to pay your mortgage or your rent or your electric power, gas, water, the garbage? And it's when they realize, no, I do it by my computer or by my phone.
Bingo.
They little ones and still sending a check. So they realize that actually part of our, I will say, kinetic life, which is this reality we live, now is crossing the border with the digital life. Is becoming one. And because of that too, companies, they have to pay more and more attention, mostly in the devices that the end users have. How many people has in their own telephone the company email and the personal email? And for a hacker, now that line is pretty easy to jump. So that is what I think we need to do. And again, everybody will click a link. It's a human thing. We are all humans. We all make mistakes. You are in a rush, Friday night, 6 o'clock, you want to get out, and somebody send you a text, urgent, and then, yes, whatever, click it. See you Monday. And that click now give access to bad actors. So if we can get something that even after you click, protect you in some way. And now again, we have the good and evil, the famous tree of knowledge of good and bad, which is the internet, and now more efficient with AI. Probably we can get a tool there that even that you make a mistake, you click the link, you open the door to a threat actor. AI is smart enough to say, wait, this doesn't look normal. This doesn't look correct. I will stop this process until I have somebody, a real person, to tell me if it's correct or not. So probably that will be the the way to go.
I like it. I like it. So I want to go back to awareness. I mean, you and I have been in the industry for a while now, right? Cybersecurity, and I think back to some of the original awareness campaigns, right? Awareness and training that employees would get. And when it came to phishing and spam emails, a lot of the guidance was look for spelling mistakes and look for broken English and all that. And I feel like AI has leveled the playing field, completely leveled the playing field.
Absolutely. Now you can speak any language that you never learned in school. How? You go to, I don't know, like a Google Translator. You go to ChatGPT, you go to Claude and type whatever it is. And actually will change the words to the correct meaning. It's a lot of different meanings that doesn't translate literally. Uh, United States, well, English, wake up, and will translate to, Spanish to espera. Will not say espera arriba. Well, doesn't make sense. So yes, AI is doing that right now. Another thing that I want you to point is we received 2 weeks ago, my CEO sent me an email telling me, asking me it was real. And the email came from jpmorgan.com. So I went to check, and yes, jpmorgan.com, but something in the email and that didn't make too much sense. First, we don't have an account with JP Morgan. Second, the email was about, hey, I want to be sure that the information you send is correct. And she swear that she didn't send any information. So what I was doing is check really the spelling of JP Morgan, like everybody, normally tell you to check. In I discovered that the P in JP Morgan was actually the R in the Cyrillic Russian alphabet.
Really? Yep.
But it's new ways that the scammers or threat actors is try to fool you. One that is very funny is Microsoft.com. It's very small and really is a R and a N, but it's so small and so close together that you swear it's a M. So you have to really, really pay attention. Maybe we can make an application in AI.
So I'm curious, right? Like playing fields leveled. People are getting a lot. So it's no longer, you brought it up before, but it's no longer the Nigerian prince scams that are prolific. It's legit, seemingly legitimate, or maybe actually legitimate messages, text messages, whatever that are coming in. Um, how do we educate the layman, right? The lowest common denominator in the enterprise to help to spot some of that.
So let me tell you a little bit behind. Before I was working here for Coleman Healthcare, my past job was with the Catholic Church here in the United States. I was in charge of basically all the technology services uh, for the 50 states. Uh, Thanks God I never had to go to Alaska. And sadly, I didn't went to Hawaii. But last year, I was traveling 47 times. So you can imagine visiting every place. And this experience got me to relate with people that never use really a computer or a phone to do their job. All the friars, all the priests, all the nuns, basically the main tool is interaction face to face. So emails, text messages was, basically a second or third thought in their day. With that in mind, and they order from basically the Rome was to bring those people to the 21st century. Still a lot of people, average age of the priest is around 72, 76 years old, that area. Uh, so it was complicated because I tried to impose MFA, multi-factor authentication, with somebody that you is not very familiar with technology, but it's a way to protect them. Another problem that I found is most of them they were using their personal accounts, and big percentage of those accounts were AOL accounts. So out of the gate, I used to tell them, look, if I were a hacker and you're telling me that you have an AOL account, I can tell you that you are probably over 55 years old. I can tell you that in 40 years, because this is from the 80s, the end of the 80s, AOL, uh, you don't know how to get a new email, or you don't care about it, or both of them.
Right.
So,
Dangerous combination.
yes, you are a perfect target for me to try to hack you. And I'm going to send you now, with the help of AI, very target phishing scams. All my life, I was thinking, in this technology life that I have, who will fall for the Nigerian prince scam? I met the guy, was a priest in Wisconsin. He lost $15,000 because the good of his heart. I met another one that received a pop-up in his computer, and the priest got very worried that his computer had a virus, called the phone number in the pop, and it's very funny because he has a Mac computer, and the guy who answered the phone was, "Hi, Microsoft help desk." So the father didn't realize that I have a Macintosh, nothing to do with Microsoft. But anyway, continue. And the scammer or hacker was able to get in his computer, determine that he was a priest, and instead of taking things or information, he start putting child pornography, and then blackmail him. Like, hey, I know you are a priest, blah, blah, blah. You know how this is going with the Catholic Church. And if you don't send $12,000, they ask for $12,000 in Amazon cars, we're going to go with your superiors, we're going to go with your friends, family, etc., etc. So, of course, thanks God, he called me. We stopped that. I asked him to close the computer, don't touch it anymore, send it to us, where CISO was amazed in checking, forensic on that computer. And I just sent a new computer to the priest and told him, please, please, when you have a pop-up in your screen, don't call the number, call us. But with that in mind, again, I'm talking about from the beginning that we need to teach everybody. I discovered that a lot of people don't want to talk about nothing technological because they don't like it, because we, the people in this world, in this technology world, sadly, we speak a different language. We speak a nerdy jargon, and we are guilty of not communicating with those people that, because of that, start hating technology. How many times you hear, oh, the problem is with your modem and router, and because the DNS is not working correctly, and the people that don't have idea what is a modem, what is a router, what is DNS, you do whatever you want, bye. So I create, and again, I'm going to put here my podcast. I have a podcast that is actually for people that I call allergic to technology, to try to alleviate that holes. Because if you think about it, again, these are the people that are the perfect targets to get to the biggest fish or to the biggest companies. I used to kind of scare the priest. I used to tell them when they, hey, I don't need a new email. Hey, I'm happy with my AOL. I am nobody. I don't care if they hack me. I don't care. I don't have nothing. I don't have money. And I used to tell them, okay, have you ever heard about a movie called 6 Degrees of Separation with Kevin Bacon? It's an old movie now from the 80s, where he's basically talking about the connection that we have with people, that everybody is connected to anyone with 6 steps. Like you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows that part, that person. So I used to tell them, who knows the Pope? And you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows the Pope. I told them that one time in New York, in one of the universities that they have, big, huge university. And when I says that, they start laughing. And I says, why you're laughing? And they point a picture of the father superior of that school, shaking hands with the Pope. Like, I will hug you, and then I will hug my way all the way to the Pope. So you see how dangerous is this?
Oh yeah, and apply that to corporate America, right? It's the same thing. Yeah, so get into the front line, right? Get into that individual that doesn't know, doesn't care, right? Either one or both. I love the reference to the 6 degrees of separation. Because yeah, it's likely not 6 steps. It's probably 3 or 4 from them to somebody who's either the CEO or very directly connected to the CEO of the company.
You don't know. You get to the CEO, and then he has access to another CEOs of another similar, industry companies. So basically, you open the door to everybody. Example: 3 weeks ago, Amazon has an issue, and a lot of companies they couldn't do the job that they normally has, the process that day. I have actually 2 or 3 Zoom meetings, and I couldn't get in the meeting. Clicking the link, like, we're so sorry, but this person is not available. So with that in mind, you notice how connected we are.
Oh yeah.
We are extremely connected one to another now with internet. We are connected with, companies that you don't even know you are connected to. So you open one door and everybody can suffer the draft coming in.
Right. So, I mean, you've got your podcast, and you've definitely got a lot of experience trying to educate, right, folks that are allergic to technology, right? They're afraid of it. So for our listeners, right, who may be security leaders or even CISOs that are trying to, in the new age of technology, where technology is being used for, or sorry, AI, where AI is being used for bad. Um, what advice do you give to them to get in front of their workforce to educate them? Again, not scare them, or maybe not scare them, but say, hey, like this is the new reality, folks. Again, it's probably not the Nigerian prince. It's probably not an email that's chocked full of spelling mistakes. Here's what to look for to think before you click or think before you act. Like what things do you propose folks do to defend themselves?
Well, first, try to be, is now your obligation, is now your duty to be up to date with what is coming or what is already here. Number one. Number two, it's not only emails anymore. Now is phishing, which is, voice that they can, take a copy of your mailbox, like, hi, hello, how are you? At this moment, I am not available, blah, blah, blah. They are now able to 3 seconds of your voice capture that, pass it through AI, and says whatever you want. Number one. And now also is video, deepfakes. I and actually that's funny. Last Friday I have a presentation for basically everybody in the company. And I took a picture, and on purpose, I took a picture of one of the CEO's social networks from 5 years ago. So you can see that she has a different haircut, she has different glasses, etc., etc. And I make her talk with her voice, and I put in the video. Uh, this is fake. This is not me. Just is just for you to see how hackers are able now to handle video and audio, and be sure that when I call you for anything, ask me what is the code word now. So one of the things that I will tell everybody, and sounds kind of ridiculous, but you will have to have a word there that you have to type or you have to say when when employee receive a call from you or an email from you or a video from you, like a boss, do you remember what is the code word of this week or this month or you know? And if they says yes, is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, whatever.
Yeah.
Now you know that is your no, even now, the famous secret questions when you was creating an email or I'm sorry, an account. Uh, how many people in Facebook used to says, "Hey, what is your favorite pet?" Or what was your first car? Or what is the questions that that was part of the secret questions, and the people was giving away.
What's interesting. What's interesting what you're bringing up. It strikes me that you're talking about MFA in a way, right? So, like when you're doing a video meeting, that's kind of a password, I suppose. That's a biometric in a way, right? But also adding in a phrase, a passcode, something, the second factor of authentication to actually validate, oh, yes, I'm actually talking to the CEO. And yes, they're truly asking me for a bunch of Amazon cards. I'm going to go ahead and do it. It's not a bad guy that's doing it this time.
Well, first of all, I will tell if you can implement in your security system, and people is going to hate me for this here, mostly my company, at least 12 to 16 characters for password. No more one word password. Try to create a phrase. That's number one. Number two is be sure that you have a password administrator. Uh, it's a bunch of them out there that you can use. Third, official authenticator. Google, Microsoft, try to go for those ones, not the extra weird ones that wanna looks actually like the same icons, because some of them are fake. Be careful of what extensions you install in your browsers. Uh, Sadly, you have to look behind your back all the time now.
Yeah.
But again, it's the life that we are living. And because now everything require internet connection, everything. When I was in high school, I remember a math teacher that he dare us to says, tell me something that doesn't have to do with mathematics. And we couldn't come with anything. Everything has mathematics. I'm going to tell you today, tell me one thing that doesn't have nothing to do with data or technology or the internet. So I can figure it out what could be. So you are now living in a world that we need to be worried about what is there. Today, we live in a world in the past where you don't want to go to a bad neighborhood because you was worried that somebody was going to mug you. Today, they can mount you from the comfort of their living room. They don't need to go out.
Right. And so it's interesting going back to the authenticator, kind of something I dealt with recently. I was helping my grandmother with a bunch of her accounts. One of those typical, what you were talking about before, folks afraid of technology, don't like technology, don't want anything to know about it. But I remember getting highly frustrated. But actually in a good way, I was getting highly frustrated. So I was working with a few companies. I was trying to get some accounts settled, and my grandmother didn't have a cell phone. Amazingly enough, she had an email address, but she didn't have a cell phone. And these companies kept wanting to text her authentication codes, right? We all get them, right? 4 or 6 digits. And I remember laughing because, again, security background here. I remember laughing and just shaking my head when I was talking to folks on the phone, be like, "That's not going to work." Well, what do you mean it's not going to work? I'm like, well, because the registered phone number you have is a landline. It is not a cell phone. So text all you want, but I'm not going to get any code. And it just kind of goes back to what you were talking about before, right? There's folks out there, and you're trying to help them with your podcast that are truly scared of technology, and they're getting involved with technology. In this case, I'm pretty sure it was online banking that I was helping my grandmother with. And she didn't have some of the technology at her fingertips to actually help her, right? She didn't have a cell phone where she could get that code to do the multi-factor. Now, granted, I was able to kind of go around it, right? We were able to go an email route when I explained, hey, we're talking about a 90-year-old individual that doesn't have that. Um, so just kind of a funny story I was remembering as you were talking about, multi-factor and folks that are allergic to technology.
War, I have to tell you, I have one person in the entire Catholic Church here in the United States. He was the archivist and he hated technology. Even that technology could make his life easier, but he refused completely to have a cellular phone, completely, not even a flip phone. So I discovered that actually Microsoft offered you the service to make a robotic call, but you have to set it up. So every time that he was logging into the email, the phone rings, pick it up, and hey, it's a robotic box, a bot giving you the numbers and repeating and repeating and repeating until you was getting the entire number. So companies, we need to also think about that people. And we are living right now in a very interesting time. We are exactly in that border where me, you, and who comes behind us is learning AI. Kids growing up today, kids born today, our AI will be just like our electric switch. You don't know how it works, but you know that one way is on, one way is off. And that's,
Hopefully.
yeah. So basically the same way with AI. So for them will be a everyday thing. And a lot of things are going to change. Of course, security, of course, the way that we prove who we, what and who we are. Like, yeah, I'm human. I'm not a machine. That I am really somebody that I'm talking to you. I am not an AI video, which is terrifying. If somebody is, have the new Sora 2 application, is amazing. They have now in the application something like a TikTok where you see all these fake, well, I will say synthetic videos that you swear are real until, of course, you see a cat playing a violin. So, okay, but look so real that a lot of industries are going to change. To me, this can be, yes, can be a bubble, can be, like in the 1990s when the internet suppose was the amazing thing to have, and everybody want to have a website, and everybody was learning HTML, and then poop, and the big companies survive, and thanks to that, we have internet. Probably something like that will happen with AI. Uh, some websites like Hugging Face, every time that I go, is 10,000 more applications that somebody did with AI. And will it slow down? That's normally the path. But this is the new industrial revolution. It's changing jobs, it's changing way to make business, it's changing the way that we have and create and process and secure data.
Yeah.
So we need to be aware of all these changes, and we need to keep up. That's the only way that we can protect the data that we have. Data is the most valuable commodity today. Forget about oil, forget about gold or silver, or, today is data. Why? Because with data, I will get all those things. I will get the gold, I will get the silver, I will get the oil, I will get the entire country. I can change, well, not me. AI can change governments, can influence people. That is kind of cool or terrifying stuff, depending how you look at it.
Depending what movie you've seen, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you have, Terminator, which I'm aware that is not a company up there yet called Skynet.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, on the vein of change, you mentioned change quite a bit. Yeah, you and I have spoke before, and would love our listeners to hear. So, on the vein of change, your own path has changed in your career fairly significantly, right? And the intro, right? You started in the medical side. You've been about 25 years or so, 19 cybersecurity. Tell us your path. How did you get to where you are today, currently a CIO?
Well, this is actually pretty funny. I basically feel that I changed patients, patients that are, with guts and blood and tissue, to patients that has microchips, wires, and electricity. And that was, basically the way that I grew up is I want to help people. That is my main goal, no matter what I do. I want to make people happy. I want to make people able to have a better life. So my first law, I think I was 5, 6 years old when my parents used to ask me, what you want to be when you grow up? I used to say, I want to be a doctor. I want to be somebody that can, people be healthy. And that was my goal. But let me tell you what happened. One day, my father invited me to his office. Well, invited me, took me to his office. And meanwhile, he was working. I was bored out of my mind, to the point that his assistant looked at me and says, "Hey, are you bored?" Like, yeah. Okay. Well, meanwhile, your dad is finished whatever he has to do. Come with me. I will show you what we got. So she sat me down in front of this weird looking TV, which only amber color. It's very boring. And then a keyboard with more keys than my typewriter. So she flipped something, wrote something in the screen. It's like, wow. And then a video game shop, and was Space Invaders. And I was like, and this computer was an Apple IIe computer. Now I'm giving away my age. So I fall basically in love. And I will say, the first touch to the keyboard. I fall in love with that. Start saving money, start to get enough to buy a first computer. And at that time was a Commodore 16, not the 64. I only could afford at that time a Commodore 16 and love it. And okay, well, how many video games this thing has? Not that many. Not like today that is one every week. So at that time, okay, I'm bored of the game. Now, what else I can do? Oh, it's a language that I can speak to the machine and was basic. So learning programming in basic, I finished that. And then it's like, what else is there? Oh, it's another one called Hobble and another one called Foxtran, Fortran. And go ahead and start learning and start, start understanding how computers work. Um, a couple of years later, my father called me and says, "Hey, do you think you can connect a new system that we got?" What do you mean? Like, yeah, we got now a mainframe and dumb terminals and a book called, a program called Novell. So like, I have no idea what the heck. Okay. So he gave me these books. I read the books and like, yeah, I think I can do it. So I went to his office and I start to play with these weird looking uh, metal things and coaxial cables and start creating a network for them. And that was the first time that I understand computer was able to connect to each other. Moving the time, I will tell you experience, modems start to show up. I asked my mother for my birthday, Mom, can you get me a modem? And she says, what is a modem? Like, well, it's something that with the phone line, you are able to connect uh, via, the the internet, well, no internet, was BBSs. And she says, yes, yes, of course, I will get it for you. My father took my mother to see a game, sorry, a movie, War Games with Matthew Broderick. And she came back from the movie theater and says, nope, I'm not getting you a modem. So imagine. So, well, with the time, working already like a medical doctor, graduated in 1990 by the University of Mexico. I took vacation, and in those vacations, I met an American woman. And after 1 year's traveling, dating her long distance, but traveling from Mexico to New York and vice versa, I decided to move here. When I came to this country, I discovered that basically to continue my medical career and get my license to be a doctor here, basically I have to pass 8 years back to school. And broken heart and a kid coming in his way and living in Manhattan, which is pretty expensive, I have to do something better. So I decided to start my life with computers. And Columbia University was kind enough to accept me in a new program that they have uh, and start my life with technology. So that is how 30 years ago I started this path, which again is funny because um, I treat computers like they are patients. So diagnosis, the process of what to do is what I do.
That is an amazing journey. I mean, literally a medical doctor, right? You don't just have doctor in the name because you got a doctorate in like history, like, and not nothing against folks that do that, right? But there's plenty of folks who get a doctorate in non-medical type things, but legitimately or a doctor and moved into cybersecurity now. That is amazing. And an amazing journey, like literally just bored with your dad, and they said, "Hey, come take a look at this computer," and curiosity, kind of took you the rest of the way.
It's incredible what a second can change your life. Can be for good, can be for bad, sadly sometimes, but life every single day give you a surprise every single day. That surprise again can be amazing or it can be like, oh my goodness, why? Why me?
Right.
But it's a surprise every day. And it's your duty to do the best that you can with what you are presented with. So use every single tool that you have in front of you. Today, in my case, it's AI, it's computers, it's technology, and how we can make this more secure, easier to live with situations. So it's funny, technology suppose make your life easier, but sometimes technology gets so complicated that you want to pull your hair out.
Oh, yes.
So
Oh, yes. Absolutely. And great advice, right? Going back just a second is all it takes for good or for bad. And that kind of goes back to choices as well in your own career, like just saying yes or no to something in your path can, drastically change your path. And kind of did for yourself, right? Your choice to come to America and marry your wife there, kind of put you on this path into cybersecurity.
yeah, again, like John Lennon used to say, meanwhile you are planning life, life happens.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, Dr. Sergio, if folks want to connect with you and learn more, maybe even follow your other podcast, what's the best way to do so?
Well, basically, they can write me an email at dr.sergio.esanchez@gmail.com. And the podcast is basically everywhere, just like yours, is Behind the Digital Curtain, which is, kind of allusion to the Wizard of Oz, that we don't know really who is behind, the digital screen.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
can be a good guy or a bad guy. So be careful there.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, Dr. Sergio, thank you so much for joining me today. I think this has been a great episode.
Good word, and the pleasure is mine, completely mine.
And big thank you to the audience. Really hope you enjoyed the episode and learned something today. Please follow us on LinkedIn and tell others in your network to follow and listen. This has been another exciting episode of Guardians of the Data. See you next time. That's a wrap on another episode of Guardians of the Data. Thanks for tuning in. For show notes and more, visit guardiansofthedata.show. Guardians of the Data is made possible by support from Centro. To see how we help organizations discover and classify all of their data accurately and automatically while quickly achieving petabyte scale data protection without the fuss, please visit centro.io. Catch you next time.